that is the problem why most people never really make it in business, is they put so much time into the creation of it, so much time into the product, so much time into the service, so much time into going live and teaching and training and creating all these little cute graphics that they never spend the time on marketing and promotion to actually change the lives and actually be able to build the business. Yo, what's good, my people? We here, my TCP fam. This is Mentorship Monday, and I'm excited because today that's what we're really talking about, is like, what are some marketing and promotional secrets? Like, what are the things that's going to allow you to go to the next level in your business? What's going to be the things that you really need to focus on this year? And one of the biggest, I got a blowhorn right now, and the biggest blowhorn that I'm yelling at everybody on this digital space right now is like, yo, let's level up. Let's level up our marketing and promotion right now. We need you to generate some revenue, and that's going to happen through marketing and promotion. If you understand what I'm saying, put yes in the chat. Put yes in the chat if you get what I'm saying. I really want to drive this into your head, because I don't want you to go through another year of contemplation, of thinking, of, could I do this? Should I do this? What will they say? Will they judge me? Am I good enough to teach or train on this? What I need you to do is just get going and attract the people who are attracted to you. This is an overall mindset. I didn't even get into the points yet. I'm just giving you the mentality that I want you to have, is put your stuff out there. Go for it. Just tell people you have it. Let people know they can enroll. Let people know that you got a waiting list. Just put it out there, because you're never going to get to a state of perfection where you feel 100% good about it. You'll feel better about it once you put it out and you get the feedback, and then you incorporate the feedback in you putting it out. But if you're not pushing it, for whatever excuse you have at the end of the day, it's just going to be an excuse that's preventing you from serving the helping the world. Because it ain't helping nobody sitting on your computer. You got to get it out there. It ain't helping nobody when it's in your brain. It's only helping people when you're putting together communities. It's only helping when you attracting clients. It's only helping when you putting your digital products and your information out there. That's when it's really helping to change the world. Other than that, it's not helping anybody else. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, go ahead and put "makes sense" in the chat. All right. So let's get to a couple points. So everybody write this down, and as I go through this, for folks who miss it, I want you to put it in the chat. So right as we go through these points, please write this in, not only in your notes, but right in the chat for the folks that are watching this. And if you're liking these as we're going through it, make sure that you continue to show love and give this some likes. All right. So the very first thing, number one, is I need you to focus on what we call content marketing. Content marketing. Everybody put that down. Content marketing. All right. I want you to focus on this content marketing piece of it, because content marketing is what's going to allow you to talk about what you do without being salesy. See, a lot of times I get people who say, "Yo, Coach T, I want to sell what I have. I want people to buy my program, but I don't want to be salesy." And we tend to think that when you have a product or service that you have to be salesy in order to sell it, but you don't. If you really follow me, I want y'all to look at this. If you really follow me and you look at everything that I do, you look at you look at my post, and go back through this group if you're not sure, right? Look at how often I'm really selling. You know what I'm saying? You looking at it, you might be like, yo, damn, where is the post where he's selling? Maybe it might be a holiday or something like that. But if you like, yo, I hardly see Terrell selling. I hardly see him selling in his group or selling in his communities. Well, how are you generating revenue? How are you generating, multiple six figures? How are you generating, how are you getting, millions of people to find out who you are? Like, what are you doing? And it almost seems like a magic trick, right? It's like, yo, I don't ever see you pushing nothing. All I see you do is training and giving and going live and giving people advice and sending emails and I see you doing stuff, but I don't really see you asking for money. So where does that come? That's what I'm telling you, is because I don't need to, because it's content marketing. See, what's so dope about this day and age is that we're in a time right now where your content is your marketing, meaning I don't have to go super hard to push it. Now, don't get it twisted. There's times where I'm very direct and say, yo, buy this, do this. But that's very minuscule. I mean, if you look at the totality of the amount of hours that I put teaching and training versus the amount of time that I spend asking you to buy things, easily less than 1%. Add up all the hours, less than 1% of the time I'm asking you to ever buy anything. Why? Because I don't need to. Because when I'm training and I'm teaching you, you're seeing me as the authority. When you're doing content marketing, you're seeing me as the authority. So I am the authority because I'm publishing information on it. I'm teaching and I'm training on it, right? So when you teach and you train through content marketing, people become interested in what you do. So you don't have to put up a billboard, and you don't have to stuff your product and services down people's throat, because just the mere fact that you're talking about it, they perceive you as the expert. When they perceive you as the expert, they go to you for products and services. They go to you for advice. They go to you to work with you. Yo, can we work together for a year? Can I buy this? Can I enroll in this program? Do you have a course? Can you work with me one-on-one? Can you do this for me? They come to you because you are the trusted source. And a lot of times we don't become the trusted source because in our content, we're not talking about enough about what we do and how we can help. Part of this is an art, but also part of this is a science. The science part of it is, what are the things that you can do and you can throw in there every time, right? When you're speaking and training, I don't see enough people. I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest things I don't see coaches and speakers in our space do. One of the biggest things I don't see them do is I don't see them talk enough about the people that they've helped. That's big, because that's almost like a testimonial, but in a creative way. It's almost like a case study. If you're giving an example and you're teaching and you're training somebody through your content, but you're also throwing in there examples of other people that you've helped, you're basically giving them a testimonial. That's making people more interested, right? And you can tell through the engagement, through what they're doing, but that's making people more interested, right? When you're throwing in there different aspects or features of the program that you have, people are becoming interested. They're like, oh, wow, I didn't know they did this, or I didn't know that this is what they offer. I didn't know this is how he helps his clients. I didn't know he or she, how they help their clients. I didn't know this. And now they're learning things about your program and your process that they would have never otherwise known unless they had a conversation with you or you sent them somewhere to get information. So now you're making them more interested. All of this is content marketing. It's really training and teaching about what you do, so they view you as the authority, but they get the chance to know, like, and trust you. They know who you are. They know what your values are. You know what I mean? If you listen to me long enough, you'll hear me talk about my family, or you hear me talk about my wife, or, you'll hear me talk about, before I had the confidence to be able to do things like this. You hear me talk about my past and how I caught 2 DUIs. You'll hear me talk about, how I went to college and how I got a 2-year-old. And you'll hear me talk about these different aspects of my life. And it's through those aspects that make you more connected to me, because not only do I know what I'm talking about just from me training and teaching, but you like me, you know who I am, because I'm a real person. I keep it 100 with you. I'm authentic. I'm giving you real valuable advice and wisdom. I'm sharing you examples from my life. And oh, by the way, I've also helped X amount of people. I've been able to help people get these results. And I'm doing it all in a way where you're learning and you're gaining so much insight. I'm doing it all in a way where it all seems like it's just coming together like a beautiful play, like a symphony. You know what I'm saying? It comes together. So, but these are things that, because I've spoken about it so much, it's ingrained in me. So sometimes before you do your training, you might jot a couple points down, or you might write certain things that you want to, and not word for word, but maybe you'll write a couple sentences, or you'll write a couple words or a couple bullets that you want to remember or that you want to say throughout the training you're getting ready to give. And it's through that your marketing and your promotion is born. And you have segues where you can talk more about it. But that's the key. That's the key to this whole piece right here, is like, the more that you train and you teach, and the better it is. And just the fact that you're doing it is putting you in position where you're marketing your business. So if you ask me, Coach T, how do I market my business for hours every day? I would say, put out content for hours every day, because the more content you put out, the more you're marketing your business. Don't look at it as 2 separate things, right? It's one thing. The more I release content, the more I'm marketing my business. Put that in the chat. Let me know if this is helpful. Go ahead and put yes, OMG, this helps. Yes, OMG, this helps. Let me know. All right, Katicia, good. Yes, Rose, good. Yes, I'm loving it. Good. I'm glad y'all taking a lot away from this, so this is good. Makes sense. Good. All right. So that's the first key to this. All right, that's number one. And I see y'all right here. All right, number one. Everybody write this in the chat. This is number two. The next thing, when it comes to marketing and promoting your business, I want you to focus on frequency, duration, and deepness. Write that down. It might be hard to see a little bit. Frequency, duration, and deepness. Somebody put that in the chat for me. Frequency, duration, and deepness. Coach T, what do you mean by that, right? So when it comes to marketing or promoting your business or your products and your programs, it's not enough to just do it once or do it every so often. Let's look at frequency. Frequency, like what? How often are you doing it? If me and you can have very similar services or programs, but if you put out content once a week and I put out content once a day, I'm naturally going to have more brand equity in a mind share of our market, period, because they just see me more. If you go live, once a month and I'm going live every day, which by the way is what I'm doing right now, I go live every day, right? Then guess what? You're gonna have a deeper level of connection with me than you would have with somebody else that you've been following who goes live once a month. You know what I'm saying? It's just the nature of what we are as humans. We connect with people that we communicate and that we see on a regular basis. So for your marketing and your promotion to be effective, you can talk more about what you do. The more you actually present yourself, the more frequent people see you, the more content that you drop. That's why you hear some of these digital marketers say, yo, drop content 3 to 5 times a day. Why do they say that? They say drop it 3 to 5 times a day because you want to be seen as much by the marketplace as possible. You want to be able to drop something in the morning, during breakfast, in the afternoon, in the mid-afternoon, in the evening, and at night. You want to be dropping something during all the major hours of the day. So you're giving yourself as much at being seen and giving yourself as much exposure as possible. And a lot of those people will be seeing all of your posts or majority of your posts. So guess what? Now the know, like, and trust factor kicks in immediately. Let's say I heard somebody say for somebody to buy from you, usually they need to be exposed anywhere between 7 to 17 times. Between 7 to 17 times. Now, let's just assume that's true. Right? Because I have seen people that have only seen like 1 or 2 things from me and they bought, maybe just because they just felt me, they vibed with me. But I've had people that have seen things probably at least 40 to 50 times, and that's the amount of times it took them to buy. Right? So it's not always 100%, but what I can say is this, let's just assume that that's true. Right? Let's assume that somebody needs to see your content or your training at least 7 times. If that's true, imagine how much faster I'm going to build my business if I go live every day or I'm dropping content every day. You see something for me in 1 week, you're a client. Or it can be one or 2 days if I'm doing it in 1 or 2 days. Or if every time I see your content, it took me a period of 5 months to see 7 pieces of content. So that means what? You're going to get a new client every 7 months, every 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, because you're not posting frequently enough. So I don't feel compelled enough to reach out to you. I don't feel compelled enough to buy from you. And especially if you're not giving call to actions for people to take some action, buy my event, buy my product, buy my digital course, sign up for my coaching program, sign me up to come speak to your audience. Whatever the case is, if you're not making offers, or you're not, you know what I'm saying? That's going to, on top of it, hurt you even more. If that makes sense. Go ahead and put make sense in the chat. Right? So that's frequency. Duration. Duration is how long are you actually releasing content for? Like how long is your content segments? You see, like this training is important, and you're going to learn a lot more from this training if I went live for 3 minutes versus if I went live for 30 minutes. Does that make sense? Duration. When you are putting out your content, how long is the content for? How long are you putting out for? If you go live, how long are you going live for? Right? Don't be afraid to go longer because you think you don't have or you don't know what you're going to teach or train on. I promise you it'll always come. And one and two, you'll get better at producing content. So it's super important that you focus on going, like, when you do content, providing longer pieces of content. If you notice, a lot of podcasts do that. It's easy when you got a podcast. You got somebody there and you chopping it up, you interviewing them or whatever. You look up, it's an hour later. Now you can take that piece and you can do so much with it. You can clip it up, you can chop it up, you put up the whole hour. But what you're doing is that duration allows people to learn from you and build a deeper affinity and trust for you. Because now they're watching you for a long time, and now they're getting to know you. They're getting to know who you are, what your likes, what your dislikes are, what your values are, what your principles are. You're teaching throughout that point. I mean, they're getting content that they would have never got through a 90-second reel on Instagram or Facebook. They're getting a different element of you than you acting and or dancing on TikTok. Right? It's a different level of connection. That's why I say, don't always get so caught up with the vanity metrics and the numbers, because all these social media platforms want you to do is create more content that's more viral to get people to stay on their platform longer, right? So you got to play by the rules, but at the same time, you also got to, and so sometimes you're going to break the rules, meaning sometimes you're going to do things that are not the most viral. You're going to post things that maybe the whole world may not necessarily be interested in because it's part of your little niche. And that's okay, because you're not doing that for the, for the metrics. I mean, you're not doing that for the, for the, just so it looks like a lot of people liked it or watched it or commented on it. Like when I do these trainings, I'm not doing these trainings to go viral. I'm doing these trainings because I really want to change and impact your life. And I know the people that are serious about it are going to be the people that's going to go to the next level and that's going to get results with us. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to know what you're doing it for. And duration really helps out a lot. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I hope y'all loving this. Just go ahead and put love in this below. Let me know, like, give this some heart and some love. Like, these are real insights that you can't get when you first start. I would have never got these insights my first year. These are insights that only come after you've been doing this for about a decade. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving you decade advice. Maybe I should have renamed this to Decade Advice from Terrell Coach T. I don't know. All right, loving it. I'm saying yes, this helps. I'm saying it, OMG. All right, love it. All right, so next, deepness. Right, all of this is still under the same point. Deepness, Coach T. What do you mean deepness? Now we definitely know about deepness. Deepness is when I train and I teach, I'm not giving fluff. Y'all could tell if you've been following me, no matter when you came into this group or how long you've been following me for, you probably been seeing a ton of videos being posted. I don't give fluff. Part of my principles and my philosophy is I'm smart enough to know this for all of us, but I'm smart enough to know that every single person that comes into my world is not going to be a client, right? You should understand and realize that. But you know what I mean? So you don't beat yourself up. You don't get upset with yourself. You don't get depressed. You don't get anxiety. You understand that in our industry, as coaches, as trainers, as speakers, as influencers, there's going to be far a more majority of people that are just curious and just kind of watching you versus the people who actually engage and implement what you're saying and become clients. So because we know that, you should make it your aim to really give the best, most valuable advice you can ever give. That's what we call deepness. Fluff is, I'm just saying things that sound good, but it's not really, and we've all had it before. You've joined webinars before, or you joined lives before where it sounds good, but I can't take any action on it. It sounds good, but I still don't know what to do. It sounds good, but okay, well, I mean, I guess I kind of get it, but how do I make this practical to my life? How do I take steps on it? How do I move forward with this information? I got this piece of information, but I don't know what to do with it. You ever felt like that? But yes, I have. Have you ever felt like that? I know I've definitely felt like that before. I watched something. I've joined trainings, went to events. I've joined programs where I've learned and I'm like, it sounds good, but I still don't know what to do. So deepness gives you a level of depth. It gives you a level of practicality. You know, you're not just talking, you give examples, you break it down, you show people the step by step. And usually when I go through this, I've had people say, yo, but if I teach them that, what else am I going to teach them? I don't have anything else to teach. Anybody ever felt like that? You ever felt like that? Like, yo, if I really give them the game, if I really share it, then I'm not going to have anything to teach. I don't want you to have that mentality, because realize that you're always learning. You're always on trainings like this. You're always, joining webinars or learning or speaking with your coaches or getting insights and breakthroughs. You're always reading books. You're always learning. So you're always getting another level of, I'm never afraid. I'm never afraid of people knowing everything I know, because you'll never know everything I know, because I'm always learning. And by the time you get to where I'm at, I'll be at a different level. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm never worried or afraid if you're gonna know more than me, or I'm gonna give you everything, because I'm always learning, and the world is always changing, and you always need to learn how to get to the next level, and there's always a new element of it. I mean, so nobody's ever gonna know everything that you know, so never be afraid of it. And I'm gonna tell you what, when you give people the best samples, they want the whole meal. When you give people samples, they want the whole meal. So if your samples are nasty, they're not going to want the whole meal. So when you putting out content consistently and it's real, and you're doing it for a long time, and you have a level of depth to you, people are like, yo, where have you been all my life? Yo, I've been finally waiting to meet somebody who's real. I've been finally waiting to meet somebody who's giving me solid advice. I've been finally waiting to meet somebody who I can connect with. I've been finally been able to meet somebody who look like me, who's been through my experience, who understands what I'm going through, who can explain it in a way that I understand. People are dying for this right now. But we have to take it seriously. As coaches, as trainers, as speakers, as influencers, we got to take that seriously, because we can change lives. But if we're trying to be too vague because we're trying to get a sale, we want to be vague. We don't want to give them too much, because, well, what else am I going to give them? If you're approaching it with that mindset, you're not even going to get to a place where you're going to attract clients, because what you're putting out there is not going to be impactful for somebody to say, yo, I wonder what the inside looks like. You know what people tell me? They're like, yo, the advice and the wisdom that you give out is so valuable. I can only imagine what it looks like working with you.